The story of Knock began on the 21st of August 1879, when at approximately 8 o'clock in the evening, 15 people from the village of Knock in County Mayo witnessed an apparition of Our Lady, St. Joseph, St. John the Evangelist, a lamb, and the cross on an altar at the gable wall of the parish church. Since that day, Knock has become a place of pilgrimage for the many thousands that visit its grounds every year. This year, to celebrate the National Novena, the Archbishop of New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, is travelling from New York to Knock with over 150 pilgrims in what is to be a historic trip for Knock. Join us on this journey as we experience our own pilgrimage to Knock. Our journey begins in New York, where the lucky passengers of the first Aer Lingus flight to Knock are preparing to leave on their pilgrimage. Spirits are high as everyone looks forward to arriving in Knock.
I'm really delighted to be part of this pilgrimage that the Archdiocese of New York is organizing to Ireland with Cardinal Timothy Dolan. He's a dear friend of mine, and I will be traveling with the group to Ireland this evening and spending the first few days of the pilgrimage with the group. Then I have to go back to Dublin, back to work in the nunciature on the Navan Road, where I serve the Holy Father, Pope Francis, as his ambassador in Ireland.
And what is it that you're most looking forward to during the course of the next 8 days?
Well, gosh, there's a lot of great places on this pilgrimage, but Our Lady of Knock, the shrine, is probably for me the high point, really. I've been there several times, or even many times before, but every trip to Knock is a great experience of God's grace and the presence of Our Lady, the Mother of God. And it's such a special spiritual place, a place of conversion, a place of prayer. So for me, the highlight of the whole thing will be where we are tomorrow, which is Knock.
How does it feel to be a part of such a historic event?
Well, listen, anytime I go to Ireland, I love it. To be with 150 friends who are going to pray and to have a good time, I love it even better.
Nice to hear that you say you're going to have a good time.
You're telling me that's part of it. See, pilgrimages are it's not only holy, but it's happy. So we're gonna enjoy it.
And what does the month of August mean to you?
Well, the reason we're coming is because Father Gibbons he said, would you please come? Because August is special at Our Lady's Shrine at Knock, especially with the feast day and especially with the novena. So I said, sure, we'll come.
Are you looking forward to meeting some people on the flight?
Yeah, I know some of them because I looked at the list, and we got a good chunk from the Archdiocese of New York, but we got what? We got 135 people, 140 people?
Almost like 160 right now.
Way to go.
Yeah.
And a good chunk of them are from the Archdiocese, but we went national and invited people, and I'm glad to see there's some people from St. Louis, my hometown. There's some people from Milwaukee, where I used to be Archbishop, and so it's going to be a diverse crowd. So I'm eager to meet them.
Wonderful. And what are you most looking forward to?
Well, a couple things. I love going to Knock because I feel at home. Wherever the Blessed Mother is, that's our spiritual home. Number two, I look forward to seeing Sister Bosco and the Irish Sisters of Mercy, who are from Drogheda, who had such a phenomenally important part of my life. They taught me in grade school in Baldwin, Missouri. They came in 1957. Can you believe it? And so Sister Bosco, who now lives in Tullamore, she's 90 years old. Don't tell anybody that, okay? And then she's going to be there, and she's going to be part of the pilgrimage. So to see her, she's like a spiritual mother to me. And then to meet the people, we're going to have a good time.
And Brian, can you tell me, how does it feel to be a part of such a historic event?
Well, it's marvelous for any number of reasons. One is to have the Cardinal lead the faithful over to Knock. That's on that level, it's wonderful. For Knock Airport, it's an amazing situation because it's for the first time we've had an international flight from New York landing in Knock Airport on a charter basis for Aer Lingus. And that really is the beginning of a new history for us. we're really believing that this is the first step in transatlantic flight from either JFK or Newark over to Knock Airport. And for us, it means jobs, it means tourism, it means so much for the west of Ireland, and we are really excited about this.
How does it feel, Rich, to have Aer Lingus as part of such a historic event?
Well, it's wonderful. I've been working on this with Peter and many of the people for about 10 months to have this happen, and it's great to see it finally come to fruition.
And to know that there's over 150 people on this flight, how does that feel?
It's a wonderful thing for everybody. I hope they have a great experience and a safe trip.
And seeing as this is the first flight to Knock, is it a case where you think this is going to promote tourism into the West?
Well, we hope it can grow from here, and we'll see what the future brings.
It's something that's been in the making for quite some years, I would say, trying to organise direct flights from the US. And it's absolutely remarkable that it's Aer Lingus, the national airline, who's supporting the trip back to Knock, which is the very first pilgrimage from the US and from New York particularly to Knock Airport. And we hope this is the first of many to come, not only from New York but from other cities across the US and hopefully across Europe.
With everyone aboard and Knock awaiting, we take to the skies towards Ireland. But while I relax on my flight, Henry is in Knock meeting Father Richard Gibbons to find out more about this historic visit and the national novena that will be taking place.
How did the pilgrimage from New York to Knock come about?
It came about very simply as a result of a conversation I had with Cardinal Dolan. He invited me in 2012, he invited me to preach for St. Patrick's Day in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York for 2013. He was over for the Eucharistic Congress and he very kindly did. It was a huge honour, and we kept up correspondence then, and we spoke, and then after I did that I just simply said, wouldn't it be a great idea, in order to reciprocate the invitation, for you to lead the first diocesan pilgrimage from the Archdiocese? And he thought it was a great idea. He simply said, let's make it happen. This week we have our novena. It began on the 14th of August and it runs to the 22nd. It's a national novena, so we have it every single year and runs for the 9 days, and people from all over the country come, as well as from Britain as well. They fly in especially and stay in the surrounding B&Bs and hotels and participate in the prayers and the masses that are ongoing here. And this year, like last year, we've expanded the novena to incorporate workshops and seminars that meet in a practical need what's going on the ground for people. So we have our guest speakers at the masses, at 2 masses a day, and then we have workshops and seminars then that build on what the people have heard, if they're interested in it. So there's a wide variety of topics and speakers as well over the course of 9 days.
What is the Witness to Hope programme?
Witness to Hope is based on a project that it is a project that we started here about 2.5–3 years ago. When I took over here, we consulted on a huge level to see what we were doing right, what we weren't doing right, what people might suggest us to do. So we just wanted to see what was going on and how people felt that we should develop. And from that came Witness to Hope. 3 elements came forward. Number one, they said, please give us something more than just the sacraments when they come here, trying to get everything into a day and then going away. If there's something more in terms of programs, seminars, workshops, that kind of thing. So we developed those. Number 2, promote yourselves, they said. We don't see you anywhere where are you promoting yourselves and that kind of thing. And they were perfectly right, so that was number 2. And number 3, they said, would you please do something with the Basilica? It's old, it's cold, it's uncomfortable, and it just needed a little bit of a modern outlook in terms of what we were doing. So we took those 3, we formed Witness to Hope, and we said, well, this is necessary for the shrine to move forward and to meet the needs of the modern pilgrim. So let's take this and let's go with it and let's see what people think. So we've moved ahead on all 3 elements. We needed a period of time to plan then. Once we had the consultation done, we brought the plan together. I set up various committees then to oversee, for example, the refurbishment of the Basilica, faith renewal programs, all of that. So we set up a whole raft of committees, and of course a fundraising committee, because we had no money to do this, so we had to find it somewhere. And so we formed all of these committees then to plan the whole thing. And then we initiated with the Basilica last October. So it took 6 months to complete. Well, it's about 80% refurbished. The remaining 20% is the artistic elements that we have to put in, mosaic, Stations of the Cross, a few more elements like that, because it'll be 40 years old next year, and we hope to have a national day of rededication. So it'll be a spectacular event. But really, the Basilica it's symbolic of really what we want of the most important elements, which are the promotion of the shrine at home and abroad, and also the renewal programs. They're critically important, because it's all well having a lovely, beautiful Basilica, but we need people to come to it too, and we need to expand what we're doing. And I want Knock really to meet the needs, as I say, of pilgrims, but not only that, to be a resource for the church in the country and to help with the renewal of the church in the country. And I think Knock would play a key central role in that. I want us to be a resource for the entire country. And I do want us to be at the level of say, Lourdes or Fatima in terms of what Knock can provide.
Well, that's all we've time for in part 1. Join Evelyn in part 2 for Cardinal Dolan's visit to Knock.
Having set off from New York, our flight has finally touched down in Knock, where a warm welcome awaits us. But what does this historic event mean for everyone here?
It's reminiscent of 1985, when the first Aer Lingus flight touched down here under Monsignor Horn. That was a great time. But I think it's, we're delighted at the fact that Aer Lingus have taken it seriously. And please God, it will be the basis for commercial flights as well.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the novena?
Sure. The novena we call it the National Novena. Over the course of 9 days, 150,000 people come through the shrine. It's an occasion where we focus on a particular topic. So this year it's faith and family. So we have a wide range of speakers during the masses, and as well as that we have workshops and seminars that focus on the practical reality of family life, say for example this year. So they're very, very popular. So it's quite an intense period, but it's a very happy period and people get an awful lot from it.
I know it might be a cliche, but anytime I come to Ireland, I feel at home. And you know, you'll hear a lot of Irish in the diaspora in the United States say that. They'll say, even for their first time, it's almost something in their DNA, something in their genes that they'll say, I've been here before. This seems so familiar. And that's how it always feels to me to come back to Ireland. I guess I've been here maybe a dozen or 15 times. Today was special because of this historic, the transatlantic flight, that you were with us on the plane. And when I had the opening prayer for the pilgrimage, I said, this is the first, but let's pray not the last, because we want to do this a lot. So, and the excitement and the hospitality and the warm welcome, wow, how could we stop here?
To start with something that's potentially very strong in the time ahead. It's taken 35 years for a jet to come from America here to Knock. No reason why that should have happened. But we are grateful to Father Gibbons in Knock, to the Irish Knock Airport here, the Archdiocese of New York, putting this together. There is no reason why in the time ahead, with the rebranding of the facility at Knock Shrine, that it cannot stand on the same level of platform as Lourdes or Fatima. And for those who believe in the Catholic religion and in the Christian spiritualism, that they shouldn't have the same really positive experience by coming here to the west of Ireland as they do in other locations around the world. They can visit the base or the summit of Croagh Patrick. They can go to Ballantubber Abbey, where Sunday Mass has been served for over 8 centuries, and and they can get a deep-rooted sense of what Christianity and Catholicism is from their point of view. So I see nothing but potential and opportunity out of this.
Minister Ring, how does it feel to be part of such a historic journey?
Well, look, it's brilliant. I'm delighted, first of all, as Minister for Tourism, but as a Mayo man, I'm so happy today to see all the New Yorkers coming in to Knock. I hope it's the start of many, many, many flights into this county and into the west of Ireland. It's a great occasion, a great morning, and I'm delighted, and it's great to see the people turning out to welcome them here this morning. As Minister for Tourism, I'm really delighted to see more visitors coming into Ireland. Already this year we have 11.5% increase in tourism. North America has been the best year ever. Best year ever, not in ever for tourism, and it's great to see it happening. And I know these people, when they go back, they're going to be our ambassadors, and I hope that Aer Lingus will bring in more flights into Knock, because it is important to bring the tourists into the west of Ireland.
How does it feel to be part of such a momentous event here in Knock?
It brings me to tears. It's just absolutely miraculous and fantastic. I think it's the happiest day of my life, apart from when I married my beautiful wife Kathleen. It's just something we've been dreaming about for years. I'm involved with the airport here for about 12 years, and we've been looking forward to bringing transatlantic flights in. We have many flights in from other parts of the world, like Europe and especially the UK. But this is very, very special, and it's a dream come true.
Would you say this is probably one of your highlights in the 12 years you've been here?
It's the highlight. It's just fantastic to see Father Richard Gibbons, and he is responsible for getting this flight going together with Cardinal Timothy Dolan. So it's just fantastic. And the atmosphere on the airport, I've never seen anything like it. It's just very special.
It's a very positive day for us. It really recognises the scale of our transatlantic operation. We now have a dozen aircraft in service, so we're flexible in the type of opportunities we can follow through on. And Knock is testament to the size and scale of Aer Lingus and to the flexibility of all of the people involved.
It's been absolutely fantastic here this morning. This is such a historic occasion for both the airport and the Shrine, having the first transatlantic service land here this morning with our national flag carrier Aer Lingus. Very historic for the Shrine in terms of Cardinal Timothy Dolan leading the first pilgrimage to the Shrine. So it's tremendous. There's a tremendous buzz here this morning, and it'll continue for the rest of the day and the whole week while the pilgrimage travels all across Ireland.
This is a new beginning here today. Delighted to see the Cardinal, to see the priest, to see the parishioners themselves coming in here to Mayo, coming into the west of Ireland, and what we want to see is more flights, more visitors, and more people coming to Knock. And today with the Good of Basilica, they're after putting a lot of money, a lot of investment into it. What we need now is to get more visitors in, to start marketing Knock, to start marketing the county and the country, and we're doing that.
Following the historic flight, the passengers embarked on trips to Lough Derg and the Cliffs of Moher. Pilgrims from all over the country and abroad have now united to reflect here at Knock Shrine. Paddy, how does it feel to be at Knock Shrine here today?
Wonderful. I have been to Ireland, but I've never been to this part of Ireland and never been to Knock, and I'm here traveling with my mom, and it's just been a really, really wonderful experience being with the Cardinal. He is a wonderful man. I mean, I always knew he was a great person, but to actually be able to be traveling with him and spending time with him has been really nice, very nice. So I'm just very blessed to be here.
I just came to pray for intentions and to take some time out and just have a break. So I'm enjoying it. It's a good atmosphere around, and it's a good chance to get away from it all.
Hi, my name is Naomi. I live in Dublin, and this is my husband, Dennis. He just arrived about a week ago in Ireland. We both originally come from the Philippines. My friends make this sort of like a yearly pilgrimage to Knock, and I was away when they planned this, and they sort of decided that I should come with them. This is my third time here, and it's a beautiful place to come to. We were just married last year, and I thought it was fitting to come and maybe feel some sort of a blessing.
With the pilgrims gathered and Cardinal Timothy Dolan having arrived at Knock, the National Novena is underway. But what exactly does the novena mean to the people who visit Knock?
The National Novena coincides with a time when people are generally in a fairly relaxed mood. It's during the holiday season. People have come home from places like England, America, and other places, and there's a certain homecoming about it. And I feel that the novena slots very well into that situation, because there is a sense of homecoming in our faith, homecoming to the Lord. And I believe that the novena comes at a very opportune time, when people have an opportunity to reflect on the contribution that faith makes to people's lives. Sometimes we take that for granted, but the contribution that faith makes to the people of God, no matter what they're about, whether it's recreation, whether it's their world of work or their world of worry. And I believe that the novena helps people to get a sense of purpose in life.
Do you all realize what an honor and a joy it is for me to offer Mass and to preach this opening day of our annual novena to Jesus through Marian here at Knock? Do you realize how much I love Knock? Do you realize how much I love Ireland? Do you realize how much I love all of you here this evening? And I heartily thank you for this privilege. Archbishop Michael and Father Gibbons, thank you so much for making us feel so welcome here at Knock. I'll trade you St. Patrick's Cathedral for Knock if you want. No deal. It's been a full day. We had a full and happy day to open up the annual novena to Jesus through Marian, Our Lady of Knock. And today was a great day. We got here last night, actually, kind of late. And then this morning, and I did that on purpose, because this morning I wanted to spend some time in quiet prayer here at the shrine. So I was here, I prayed, I spent some time alone with the Lord and His mother. I went to confession. And then we had a nice lunch with some guests. A lot of guests were here for lunch because Father Gibbons wanted me to meet them. And then I had the big event at 3:30. It was very moving. The basilica was jammed, and we must have anointed 400 people with the sacrament of the anointing of the sick, and had the procession with the Blessed Sacrament. It's been a full day, but it's been spiritually exciting. Knock reminds us that the church is our supernatural family. Our identity as a child of God, our identity as a member of the family of the church, and number 3, everybody, our identity as a citizen of heaven. Our Lady's Assumption, the feast we begin to celebrate now with the Vigil Mass, reminds us that we too have an eternal destiny. Where Mary has gone, we are destined to go. Jesus wants us, body and soul, with Him for all eternity in heaven, as His mother is now. I told our pilgrims since we got on the airplane, you were there, we're not tourists, we're pilgrims. We're not on vacation, we're on a pilgrimage. And a pilgrimage needs a goal, because a pilgrimage is a microcosm, a hint, a metaphor of the pilgrimage of life back to God. We come from God and our hearts are restless until they return to God for all eternity, as the great St. Augustine said. So you need a destination, and Knock was it. But Knock is important because you were there last Sunday when I said I had reminded the people that the Sunday before I was home at my mom's in Washington, Missouri, and I said that's always rewarding. For me, when I'm with my mom in her house, and now with my spiritual mother. So it's people have been saying to me, oh, Cardinal Dolan, thanks for coming to Knock. And I said, are you crazy? Thank you for being here. I need this. I need to reconnect. You know how you have to do with your cell phone? You better plug it in. That's what Knock does for me. That's what Lourdes does for me.
With this historic pilgrimage having taken place, you have to wonder, what's next for Knock?
It is the National Marian Shrine. It belongs to the entire country. It doesn't belong to Mayo. It's not the Mayo Shrine. it's not the Knock Shrine, it's the National Marian Shrine in Knock. So it's for the entire country. And it has that international dimension as well, and that's what we hope to develop in terms of the pilgrimages from New York and beyond. And if we get them from New York, there's no doubt we will get them from Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia. I think you could name the places really that you could get them from, you know. And once the airport is so close to us, we had a great, I called it sort of another holy trinity between the shrine, the airport and the Archdiocese of New York that made that trip happen. And there's no doubt we have a great working relationship with the airport because it's mutually beneficial, and it's also a good economic point for the West of Ireland too. But it's the National Marian Shrine, belongs to the country, and it has an international dimension.
Faith and family was the theme of this pilgrimage, but those themes and more will forever be in Knock for the many thousands that will continue to visit this holy site.